And then that leads us to our second question, because there will be people who will come and say to us, and they do, Gary, I understand where values come from. I understand what you are saying. I understand the importance of holiness. I understand the importance of an ethic that is other-oriented. But Gary, you've never met my child. My child is absolutely different, implying that personality and temperament differences exempts the child from biblical standards of behavior. Let's take up the second question here. What role does temperament and personality differences play in moral training? All parents should be working towards the same standard of moral excellence, regardless of their child's personality or temperament. Here we are talking, ladies and gentlemen, about the standard, not the means to the standard, just the standard. You see, many parents are guilty of dismissing the need for virtuous training based on their child's uniqueness. And that's when we commonly hear, oh, but my child is different. Oh, really, we will say. The old "but my child is different" is not a legitimate exception clause in the ethical scheme of the Bible. We recognize the fact, believe me, that all children are different. From birth they are different. Clay and Eleanor have 7 of them. Are any of them alike from different? You got triplets and twins. They're not alike, are they? From birth they are different. We want you to know. We know a brother and sister can be as different as the little boy next door. Of course. Each child possesses a unique combination of temperament and personality that distinguishes him or her from all other children. But personality development and moral training are not the same thing. You see, personality, we could define it this way. Personality is the house. Temperament is the foundation. That's what God gives us. Your child is born with a unique temperament. That's the foundation. Personality is the house. That temperament enters a family. And a personality is formed. That's the house. But when we talk about moral character, moral training, we're talking about the craftsmanship that goes into building the house. You see, you all have different foundations. And you all have different shaped houses. You understand? What we're talking about is not the uniqueness of the house. We're talking about the craftsmanship that went into building the house. That's moral character. You see, regardless of the personality distinctions found in your families, the persistence of moral training should not vary from child to child, because God's moral requirements do not vary from child to child. Your children all represent different personality types. In fact, we could use you in this room as an illustration. Let's divide the room up. Let's say over here we have personality types A, and we'll make you guys the B's, and you be the C's, and then we have the D's, and over here we have the type E's, all right? So we have these 5 different personality types. Now, based upon your unique personality type, let me ask you these questions. Who in this room, which one among you, based upon your uniqueness, based upon your temperament, based upon your type, who in this room is exempt from honesty? Any of you? Who in this room is exempt from kindness? Because you're unique. Who in this room is exempt from honor, integrity, endurance, obedience, and all of the other virtues? Obviously none of us. Why? Well, because the standard doesn't change, the morality doesn't change, because each one is different. The very fact that each one's different complements God's greatness in creation, because He's showing the whole world, even with the differences, there is something in the heart that is the same. That is His values. And that's what binds us together. It will always bind us together. Parents need to recognize and appreciate the uniqueness of each child, but understand that uniqueness has nothing to do with the standard of ethical training. Believe me, mothers will come up to me and say, "But Gary, I understand, but you don't know my child. I have this little guy right here, and he is a fireball. He's always on the go. I can barely keep up with him." And then I have my daughter, Sarah, and she's, "Sarah, Mom's going to take a shower. Mom, if you're going to take a shower, may I press some clothes for you?" And you say, she says, "Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference?" And I will say back to the mom, "Of course I see the difference. Do you see the difference? Do you realize that you're probably not going to have a problem with this little guy saying hello to Mr. Ezra on Sunday morning? Now, you may have a problem in that he's going to tell me everything about your family that I shouldn't know, but you're not going to have a problem. This child over here who you think is so good, now, this one's going to be able to get away with a lot of different sins. Now, you probably will have difficulty in bringing her to the moral standard in something as basic as a simple courtesy." You see, we do understand all children are different. But what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to bring the child to the standard. We're not supposed to plastic coat our children, like, here's the standard, and, oh, Sarah's pretty good, bring her here, and then this one, oh, he's real bad, bring the standard, and, well, this one's here. No. What we do, ladies and gentlemen, is we bring the child to the standard. We love him to the standard, we correct him to the standard, we encourage him to the standard, and we live the standard. We bring the child to the standard. We do not bring the standard to the child. The means and how we do that, we will discuss that later in Growing Kids God's Way. Right now, understand that there is a standard.